let's see, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, the media is still intrigued with Arnold Schwarzenegger, even though he had sexual relations with his maid, and they have a child, and this occurred while he was married. Now, I don't know about you, but I find that to be putrid, disgusting, unconscionable. But he's a progressive Republican. Oh, okay, well, forget it. That's personal. And this genius, still speaking broken English, here's what he has to say about those of you who actually know something about climate science, quote-unquote. Cut 11, go.
We are told that fighting pollution means harsh regulations that will cripple business. Politicians, they say, it's too costly to fix. Imagine how absurd for a politician in Washington to talk about too costly. They love to spend money. And you know something else?
Stop. How the hell did this guy get elected to anything? And what's with that weird music in the background? Go ahead.
Politicians even want to shut down the EPA's ability to regulate carbon. I would like to strap their mouth to an exhaust pipe of a truck.
Ah, you idiot. You washed-up buffoon. Another one who drove California into the toilet. I'd like to strap their mouth to an exhaust pipe. Let me educate you, moron, and I'll do it in regular English. Most of us learned this in 3rd grade, but you weren't here. Maybe you didn't learn this. You see, this is how it works, Arnie. We have what's called carbon dioxide. You're talking about carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide begins with an M. Carbon dioxide begins with a D. Now, you know what, Arnie? If you don't have carbon dioxide, you know what happens? You don't have plants. All you vegetarians out there will starve to death. But you won't have plants. What do plants create? Yes, Jimmy. There's 7-year-old Jimmy. What do plants create? That's right. Oxygen. And who needs oxygen to live, Jimmy? Oh, that's correct. We do. We do. Now, carbon dioxide, ladies and gentlemen, carbon dioxide is a tiny little element in what we call the atmosphere. Now, part of the atmosphere is made up of what we call greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are very, very important because greenhouse gases include things called like condensation. For the liberals out there, that's called water. And so we need condensation, we need carbon dioxide, we need things like that in order to survive as what? Human beings. And for you PETA types out there, animals need it too. Now, if we don't have greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide, and we don't have an atmosphere, we will what, Johnny? Right. Die. Perish. All of us. Now, if we have too much carbon dioxide, whatever that means, what happens? It gets a little warmer. Oh my goodness, then what? Then we have more plants. And when we have more plants, we have more food. And when we have more plants and food, that's a good thing. And when we have more plants, we have more oxygen. Now, maybe it can get too warm. Can human beings control that? Sally, you answer. No. Why, Sally? Because we have what's that yellow thing in the sky? It's called the sun. And the sun has more to do with warmth and cold on the earth than your Ford pickup. Can you believe that? It's true. Now let's listen to Arnie now that we've provided context for any 3rd grader. Let's listen to Arnie again. Cut 11, go.
We are told that fighting pollution means harsh regulations that will cripple business. Politicians, they say, it's too costly to fix. Imagine how absurd for a politician in Washington to talk about too costly.
Hey, dummy, stop there. I don't care what politicians say. It's too costly to fix. Can't be fixed, dummy. That's number one. Number two, it's people who are affected by this. People who have businesses, people who have automobiles and trucks, people who use what we call air conditioning. And as a matter of fact, you fools in Beverly Hills, yes, it affects you too. Your private jets, Your numerous homes, your numerous cars. Yes, it affects you too. Go ahead.
To spend money. And you know something else? Some politicians even want to shut down the EPA's ability to regulate carbon. I would like to strap their mouth to an exhaust.
Let me tell you about carbon. As a matter of fact, carbon wasn't regulated until a stupid Supreme Court decision, 5-4, written by John Paul Stevens. No, not the pirate. He was an associate justice of the Supreme Court, appointed by Gerald Ford. And John Paul Stevens agreed with these liberal states that sued the EPA in Massachusetts versus the EPA. And you know what they did? For the first time in history, they said carbon dioxide is a pollutant because carbon dioxide has never been considered a pollutant by scientists. It can't be a pollutant. Plants use it to create oxygen. It's not a pollutant, but they just want to regulate it. Ho, 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 ho. Go ahead.
Truck. Turn on the engine and let's see how long it will take.
You know what? Shut up, you idiot.